What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chiefin with Dale. I'm your host, Dale, along with my partner, Lonnie. How you doing today, bro?
Good. I'm good. Still getting everything together. Like I said, getting everything together for the baby. Just took a quick glance around the house. Still got a lot of chaos going on around here. So
Got a month left, bro.
yeah, month left, month left.
Month left, and then you off from work, all that. You about to enjoy your time off. You about to be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Hey, hey,
Try,
hey, right,
try. I'm learning something new. It's a new experience for me.
man. Well, once again, we always congratulating you over here. We definitely gonna be with you with the ride. This is your family, bro. So we got you. So you don't
Yeah.
have to worry
So
about it. All right, bet. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about this time. Kind of different, it's not the usual. We got some things that happened the past couple days. ESPYs just happened as well too. Chiefs had a big night, winning around 3 awards as a whole unit. Of course, two of those was specific to Patrick Mahomes, but hey, it's still for Chiefs Kingdom. Also, we had a big signing that happened today as well too. Defensive tackle Quentin Williams. What does that mean for Chris Jones? A lot of people thinking like, hey, this is a done deal for Chris Jones. Not that he's leaving, but he's staying. And we think the Chiefs is going to go ahead and give him that contract. And also, Kadarius Toney just he been wild this past week going at it with Giants fans. He been doing it right after the season, especially getting that Super Bowl ring and just being flexing. So we're gonna dive into that and discuss what he has been doing and the traction that has been gaining around that. But to start off, the Kansas City Chiefs, like I said, had an eventful night at the ESPYs. Patrick Mahomes took home the Best Male Athlete Award and also the Best NFL Player Award, along with the team winning the Best Team Award in this year's 2023 ESPYs. Do you think we deserve all of those awards given some backlash on social media?
yeah. So yes, I definitely think we deserve all of those awards. We show. I think Pat showed. I just got done watching the Netflix documentary. At the Dale informed me that all 8 episodes is out. I just watched the whole thing, so I feel like it's well
I'm all
deserved. The
for it.
best, the all. I feel like it's well deserved. The best athlete award is well deserved. It speaks for itself. It's a testament to the work that Pat's put in. It's a testament to the work that Andy Reid and they staff that they put in. Um,
Mhm.
Testament to what we building in Kansas City here. Something great going on here. It's a lot of young talent. Seeing so many young players rise to the level of their competition and just rise to the level of expectation, right? So like, you don't have you. So you usually have players going out and coming back in, and then they don't meet expectations. These young
Right,
players out. A lot of players left out, and these young players came in, stepped up, and met expectations. So,
right,
and with that being seeing that being done, I feel like gives a lot of perspective in sport and people that are in the sports world, as such as a lot of people that are in the SPs or everybody that's in the SPs. You notice that. Um, you notice the comebacks. You notice it wasn't easy. It was all gritty. It shows the grit of your quarterback that's 27, I think, years old, and young and still fighting for a Super Bowl like he hasn't already won one. Still shows the hunger. So I feel like all of that is well deserved. I feel like they had the best team for sure. Um, we know for sure he was the best player. He deserved it. It's no doubt. It's a testament to Mahomes' mentality, and how he trains, how he works, and how his will to win, his will to put a city on his back. He willed us to victory, and all three of those victories in the playoffs. Being injured, it's never easy with a 300 pound person landing on your back and twisting your
yeah,
ankle. So to see him battle through those injuries, see him still go, see his work ethic, I feel like seeing that quarterback series kind of gave me um, a second, a second
a
like
look.
coming of Mahomes, or like
Mhm.
a second glance at a second glance at a person that who he is. It made me like him and love him even more. Just knowing that he has a passion that comes along with that success. That you see usually the athletes have that type of success. They have that type of drive, or they're working that hard. There's no days off. There is no off season.
Right.
So it's a testament to who he is, and I feel like I just seeing this question after post that, and I wish I would have seen it just a little bit earlier, but it definitely gives me a lot of gratification and just a lot more respect. Yes, I feel like he is the best athlete. I feel like he is the best NFL player, just based off of work
And
ethic
the
and
team is the best.
doing. Yeah, and the team is the best for sure.
we're going to agree on this one. I feel like it's obvious. Those individuals who feel that it wasn't deserving, I think they're just tired of seeing the Chiefs' success and seeing the talk of them in the social media. And a lot of people are angry that they were wrong as well this upcoming season as well too, especially with the departure of Tyreek Hill, and they thought it was going to be a decline in the team. The reason why I feel he's deserving of the best male athlete award is because at his position at his position in league, he was a league MVP. So he already should be, as the NFL player representative, showing that he's the best player that should be in that award category for the ESPYS. And then, along with, I know other people were arguing with Nikola Jokic from the Nuggets as well too, being he should have won that award. However, in his defense, even though he had a great year and it was some controversy with his league MVP as well too, many think he should have got it over Joel Embiid. At the same time, with him not winning that award, I think it made it easier for Patrick Mahomes to go ahead and run away with it, because not only did he win league MVP, but he was a Super Bowl MVP as well too. Jokic was Finals MVP, but Mahomes has a whole package, so he won a championship along with being a league MVP as well too, and having a Super Bowl MVP on his back as well. And then when we wrap it all up together, he did play with the injury in that playoff run and in the Super Bowl as well too. Even though he was able to tough it out, and he was still the anomaly he is at that position, and just being so great and being one of the best in the league, being the best in the league, it just goes to show his will to win, and shows that he's willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish the goal at hand, and also being a leader to his group as well. So he possessed all of those in what you want for a male athlete of the year, and I think that's why he won it for both awards as well too, especially being the best NFL player award. He already won the league MVP, so you might as well give him the best NFL athlete award as well too. Now for the best team, the reason why they get it as well too, because they were one of the teams. I think they were just short under Philadelphia a game with having one of the best records in the league. However, once again, as a unit, they won a Super Bowl. And then at that, you got to think about the backlash that they got in the offseason as well too, when they traded away Tyreek Hill. This was a team that everyone thought took a step back, which in a sense that they did, and then they had to work around that and be more open in the offensive playbook and getting everyone involved, opposed to just focusing in on Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. The loss of Tyreek Hill, what it did for the team is it made them reevaluate what they had to do as a whole. And what they did is they came in with a solid game plan this season, and they were able to complete that. Now, they did lose to the teams like the Colts, the Bills, and the Bengals. However, they still had a 14-3 record. They still dominated in the playoffs, and they still made it to the Super Bowl and won it all as well too. So you got to give them credit for that, because this is a team that just took a lot of negative talk throughout the offseason, and just people talking down on how they weren't going to be the team to beat in the AFC West no more. They weren't going to be the best team in AFC at all. And now for them to overcome that and dominate and prove everyone wrong, they were deserving of that award. Now next year it can be a different story. Say if they do repeat, but you see a little hiccups on the road as well too. You can see them probably lose in some of those categories just because they won it the previous year. However, it's not going to stop the train that's rolling with them, because at the end of the day, the end goal for them was just winning the Super Bowl. Everything else that came after that was just extra cherry on top. So it was deserving. They definitely deserve to, just bring in and just celebrate all the victories and accomplishments that they earned this year, because they were talked down upon. This was a unit that a lot of people really was saying that they weren't even going to be in the double digit win column or even making the NFL playoffs. So I think as a whole, it's deserving. This is an aha moment for them, for everyone that's doubting them, and they should bask in that. And just now they're going to be moving forward, training camp next season. So I mean next week. So I think they're just going ahead and just getting everything out, getting the celebratory things out the way, and now they're going to be focused on what's coming up next. But once again, I think on all in all awards that they were nominated for, well deserved. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. We're the best team that's
Yeah.
in the world right now, considering for everybody.
And I say all respect to Joker. I love Joker to death. I love him to death. That's if I like I said and told y'all before on previous episodes. That was my first NBA player that I went to go see live in person was Joker. On his MVP run. So I give all the respect in the world to Joker, but it's the body of work for Patrick Mahomes, and it's what he did, and like you said, it's how it was done. It'd be different if people were saying that the Nuggets were going to be last in the NBA.
Right,
Or they were going to be last in the West or the 8th seed in the West or
right.
be in the play-in tournament. But it's not like that. They didn't
They
trade
have faith
Jamal.
in them
They
already.
didn't trade Jamal Murray away, right?
Exactly.
The Nuggets were more of a five-headed monster that we all knew were going to win the finals. Like the Nuggets are probably going to be at the top of the league. They got Aaron Gordon,
Yeah,
they got Michael Porter, they got Jokic, they got Jamal Murray, they got these people, Bruce Brown coming out. So they have enough to win. We knew that,
exactly.
but this was a different story. The narrative was different on the Chiefs. The story
Yep.
was built for them. The odds were stacked against them. And what's going to be fun to see is how the Chiefs respond now, because you just like you earned all of that respect, you have it now. You have to stand on it though, right? You're going to have to
Mhm.
defend it. So how do you defend that? Do you still keep that same fire even though you're at the top of your game because you're the hunted now? You're no longer in the hunt. You're getting hunted. You're hunted. So
You've
you're
been hunted
nobody
really ever since that first Super Bowl victory.
and
Honestly.
nobody's picking against you. They're picking for you. So you're
Exactly.
gonna have to build your own bulletin board. You're gonna have to do a lot of it. So
And the
it's
people that pick
how does that work?
in the hold on. I think you're breaking up a little bit. One moment. Let it come back. Let it come back. We're having a technical glitch right now, everybody. One moment. All right, we're back. You good? You cut off a little bit. Go back to what you were saying.
Yeah. No, it's like I said. It's just gonna like I feel like the biggest thing is just how, like you said, how they defend it. How you
Mhm.
show up now that, like I said, you're the hunted. You're no longer the hunter. You're being hunted.
You know, I don't know if you heard me because we had that technical glitch, but what I was saying is they were 100 ever since they won that first Super Bowl, even when they didn't win it the year after or when they missed it the year after that as well too. They were always a team to beat, and people were looking out for them regardless of what happened. So it's just the people that were picking against them, they were picking against them because they were tired of them winning. So we'll keep it real on that. But let's go ahead and jump into our next topic. So speaking of all that, the Kansas City Chiefs are favored to be the last unbeaten team in 2023. So when I say that, they think that they're going to be the last team to actually have a loss on their win. They're going to have a loss after everyone else has lost a game before them. So they think they're going to actually be the last team to be undefeated in the league. But I'm gonna take it a step further. Lonnie, do you think the Chiefs could actually go undefeated throughout the entire season and pull something off that the Miami Dolphins didn't do because they're 19-0? With that extra game, the Chiefs can be 20-0, be the first 20-0 team and win the Super Bowl. Do you think it can happen?
I don't want to put that jacket on them yet. I don't want to, just because I was a baseball kid. I was raised up. I played a lot of baseball. It's more my first love more than football. I'm real superstitious. I don't want to put the jacket on them yet. I want to see at least the first game. Let me see if they're clicking on both sides of the ball. If they're clicking on both sides of the ball, yes, give it to me. And I say give it to me because of this reason: the experience on both sides of the ball and the youth. With that experience and that youth that they have going to that Super Bowl, going through those AFC championships, I'm banking on that 20 times out of 20 against any team you give me now moving forward, just because that brings so much confidence to your team. We seen teams previously that went to Super Bowls and came off of them. It just makes them more confident. Barring injury, you're just gonna have a more confident player, someone that's more trusted in their abilities, more trusted in the system. People that are more comfortable and know what to do just off of recognition. You more reactionary than getting your verbiage and then trying to react. So I feel like they'll be good. I don't want to say they'll be undefeated. Like I said, I want to see them a couple games
You
in, and then
scary.
I'll go from there.
You
Um,
scary.
well, you can call it what you want to, but I'll just
Yeah.
say I want to see what they look like first, because the we lost somebody that was sometime at the pass rusher side of the ball, but I want to just see how consistent we can be there, right? Because it's we're
Lonnie
gonna
been
need it.
giving us Homer takes all these other episodes. Now you don't want to say they're gonna be undefeated. Let me tell
No,
you something. I don't care. I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm not gonna give you what y'all want to hear. No, we're gonna go undefeated. We're gonna be 20-0. We already put this when that extra game was added. The Chiefs said they were gonna be the first team to do it. I think they're gonna be able to do it. It's gonna be without Tyreek Hill. It's gonna be without Shark Kendrick Ward. Or I mean, Shark Berry's Ward, Frank Clark. It's gonna be without all of them. Because I like what you said in your explanation, though. This is a team that gained some experience as a whole, especially after winning that Super Bowl. But they're young as well too. So we get a Chris Jones extension. We clear up some cap space. Maybe go add a DeAndre Hopkins because he already at a level of play that we want. I think you got success right there. I think we can go 20-0. Now, now it's going to be a lot. We got people coming for our necks. We got the Bengals. We got the Bills. We got the Chargers. We got the Ravens, the Dolphins. Got a lot of those guys that we got to go out there and play against. But I just think where we're going to succeed at is having a perfect coaching staff. Andy Reid is already calling the plays. Matt Nagy back at offensive coordinator, someone we had years prior in the Alex Smith years, made him look phenomenal. Now you have the best quarterback in the league. Where's at your helm now? You left when we got him. You went over to the Bears. Now you got him for yourself now again, and you're building yourself back up defensively. I think Spag's going to have some fun with that defensive line. We got the secondary that's tough and it's experienced as well too. So I think we just got a lot going for ourselves to where people might underestimate us just because they might feel like last year could have been a fluke. But I think we're going to prove them wrong and show them that this unit is really tough. We're really stout. We're really disciplined. You're going to have to play us to the last seconds of the game. I think they're going to overcome that. I think they can probably go undefeated this season. We go on a run in the playoffs, Super Bowl, something happens in our favor, boom, 20-0. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. I just want to still go to the Super Bowl and win.
he just want to be
But
the
I
first
would
person.
like.
He just want to be the. He said it first.
I think other people have said it as well too. Who's not scared? I wouldn't be surprised if someone already went to Vegas right now and put a bet on that just because of what we seen last year with Patrick Mahomes, and now with him having an offense to where he's shown us that it's ran through him and that he's going to play at a godly level like he always do. When he went into God mode against the Houston Texans, when he went into God mode against the Tennessee Titans, when he resurrected in the Super Bowl game against the 49ers. When he hobbled on one leg in the Jaguars and Bengals game. Super Bowl, he had a big run out of nowhere. The drivers downfield, kick a field goal. 13 seconds left for the Eagles. They couldn't do nothing. 8 seconds left, actually. We won the Super Bowl. I just think it's just something with this team to where we're going to experience a lot of success. We're going to experience all different types of success as well, too. I think it's going to be a time to where, maybe we come in with 11, 12 win season, probably 11 win a wild card, and we can end up surprising people as well, going to the Super Bowl and winning like that as well too. Just because we just have that championship mindset, and that's something that it's not built overnight. You have to be into the championship and won one before they even possess that type of energy. That type of swagger, and they have it. So, we'll see. I don't want to be the first one to say it. Like I said, I think someone probably been to Vegas already, put something big up on it. We'll hear probably next year if it happens. When somebody hit off of that. See, I'm too scary. I do parlays, y'all. I'm somebody to put $20. Hopefully they go up. Depending on what I bid on, could be around 10. I did that for the Super Bowl one time. Odell got hurt 8 yards before, bro. I could have had it. And the Rams won too. Pissed me. But we're gonna send you over to a quick commercial break, and once we come back, we'll dive into some more Kansas City Chiefs talk right here on Chiefin with Daily Dale.
What up, KC? On the heels of yet another Kansas City Super Bowl victory, we have an awesome opportunity for you to broadcast your business to the local Kansas City market. We've created something called Kansas City Sports Company, which is a sports media hub for multiple live shows, all of which cover all the local Kansas City teams. Now, we have 30-second ad spots, 60-second ad spots, we have event sponsorships, studio sponsorships, show sponsorships, and much, much more. This is a great opportunity for you to start early with us and broadcast your business to a very dedicated, very enthusiastic Kansas City audience. Contact me or hit the Contact Us link on our website to learn more about this opportunity.
Welcome back to the episode. Now diving into our next topic. Jets defensive tackle Quinn Williams just signed a massive deal of 4 years, $96 million. This was the last DT to set the market, defensive tackle to set the market. So what does this mean for a CJ deal? Now, I want you to keep in mind that Quinn Williams also received $66 million guaranteed, and this is the second largest contract by a defensive tackle ever. And we know that Chris Jones actually wanted to at least be uh, the second highest contract in the league as a defensive tackle. So, Lonnie, what are your thoughts about that? And what deal you potentially think can happen? Because I can give you some figures that I received from Arrowhead Live, who I write for as well too, of what we think about that.
Yeah. What was the figure from Arrowhead Live?
So our figure that we're going with is 4 years, 97 million, with the guaranteed bonus of 61.5 million. So he won't get as much guaranteed as Quentin Williams. However, you got to think he still has 1 year left on his deal. So actually, this could possibly total up to 5 years, 125 million, where he's making more annually as the top paid defensive tackle in the league.
Yeah. So I think the Quentin Williams deal definitely sets the benchmark for Chris, right? It gives us a ground, it gives us a base, the concrete base to kind of build off of for Chris. I think the contracts definitely will look similar. I think Chris is going to have to come in at a higher number than Quentin to me. Probably if he still gets the 60, I don't see if Quentin got 66, I don't think Chris is going to get anything less than that, just because being that he won a Super Bowl, he's coming off Super Bowl champion. He's at the top of his game. You got a lot of other DNs that just got paid. I don't remember the DN's name in Tennessee. I just know he got paid recently, but he was a Mississippi State boy as well. I'm sorry to whoever he is, but I think Chris's deal is a little bit more than Quentin, so I'm going to say at least 67, and that front end number might get a little bit higher up until almost 100, just to like spread some bread out. But I'd say he gets a little bit more guaranteed than Quentin, and they probably just put a little bit more front end money on there too, just to fluff it up, make the number look good, and stretch it out for a little longer period of time. So they might add another couple years on there, and make it like 5 or 6. Just to really okay, we want to be able to make some moves here or offload this sometime soon, but we want to make it look sexy at the same time. I feel like that's what a lot of these NFL contracts are, just a lot of fluffing up and making them look good. Because usually when you get to these type of deals, no offense to Quentin, but you don't usually see those guys hitting that whole 96 because that team's not playing the Super Bowl or playing in the playoffs. You're not getting no incentives, or you're not really finishing out that deal. He is a dog. He is a dog for sure, but that's not to take anything away from Chris Jones. Chris Jones is at the top of the league right now, and that's the only reason I say I feel like he gets more here. He gets more here than Quentin, but this is definitely the base and the outline of the nose tackle, not nose tackle, but the DN deals going forward. Is that this is what that base is going to look like, especially for Chris, being that he's an upper echelon DN. It's going to look nothing less than this, because but also what I say with him adding that edge rush arsenal are adding that edge pass rush to his arsenal, becoming an edge rusher. I feel like that just only adds more value to Chris, and that's another thing that they're going to bring to the table, which also gives him a little bit more leverage as far as the negotiation goes than Quentin has. I don't know if Quentin lines up outside at all, and or how successful he is lining up outside, but Chris has on the record tape showing that he is very successful lining up on that outside position. Having great success at a very high level. He did it in the playoffs, really when it mattered most against Joe Burrow. So he kind of has the argument there that if you wanted to say you got to pay me as pay me like a Max Crosby, or you got to pay me like a Frank Clark, or you can pay me like an interior guy, Fletcher Cox, or one of those guys. So he can really take his pick. I think pick his poison, but I think of course, he's going to be paid like an interior guy because that's where he plays at the most. But I feel like he definitely gets more than Quentin. Like I said, even if he gets up in that 3-digit range,
he's beating him. We don't have to worry about it. He's beating him.
Yeah, but this is just the groundwork. This makes a lot of sense. And I feel like they're gonna have to spread Chris's money out. We know Mahomes' contract is on the book. That's 10 years. It's $400 million. It's a lot of money still being spread out, but it still is going to impact the salary cap in some type of way. Chris is going to get paid. He needs to be paid, but we have to do it the right way to not cripple the team.
Well, he's not going to cripple the team. I can tell you that right now. Before I go on and say what I need to say, James Palmer also said too that like after reporting on his deal, he said the Chiefs are currently working on the deal right now. A lot of people think that the deal is somewhat put together already. Probably some things they have to do after the Quentin Williams signing. But if I'm Chris Jones, I probably just go at him straight out $100 million annual, like $100 million, 4-year $100 million, and then make them go down for there. But 96 is right there at $100 million. If they can meet in the middle at 98, then that's cool. But but at the same time, it's still deserving because his contract extension is going to open up almost up to like 18 million in cap space, depending on how they structure the deal. So you could still go out there, and that's what a guy like DeAndre Hopkins is waiting for as well too, because he'll take that 1-year deal. That's I don't think we'll give him the full 18, but if he take around like the 14 and a half, I think he'll be fine with that with playing for a Super Bowl, right? And then it could be incentive based as well too, to where like they can make it to like 1 year 9, and then you can make up to 14. If he does that, that's great because we got what we wanted out of him as well too, along with possibly winning the Super Bowl. You will run with that. So Chris Jones, I think he's going to come with that number. If not, probably, if anything, probably a little bit more than that to see what he can get out of the Chiefs. But at the same time, you got to remember, too, like what we're doing with Mahomes' deal, you'll be able to do this with Chris Jones' deal as well, too. Because what people fail to realize on a restructure, it's not taking any money away from the player. What it does is it will give them more money up front if they convert some of that to a bonus. That way, they can take some of that money out the cap hit, and that's just what they're giving them in pocket already. So they're still getting their money, but it takes away. And sometimes what the owner's not going to do, he's just not going to give them all that money. He can't do that to every player, right? Because you still have your own books that you got to make sure it's right as well too. You can't go over a certain limit, so you got to make sure you have it right for that particular guy. So he'll probably still have a deal that you can restructure as well along the years to where he's still getting his money, but he's getting the amount that he wants. And then they probably tell him that in those contract negotiations as well too, because at the same time, if he wants to be a Chief for life and he want to keep on winning, he know that money is going to be a factor of bringing in some other guys to add to the roster as well too, along with, we got to take care of the rookies that we draft and we pick up as well, especially if they make the roster. And so I don't think it will even hurt the Chiefs like that much. I think you just want to go ahead and lock up a guy like Chris Jones. That way, on the defensive side, you got something to build around because you already got your quarterback that you building around year in and year out, as well as two where you're set. And then now you got somewhat of a championship. You have a championship culture where you can build off those individuals. And then we have a young roster as well too, to where we're not looking to add much on the offense anyway. Where we're going to go out, we already showed this offseason that we're not thirsty on going after elite talent because we know what we can do with the talent that we have in the room because we proved it last year winning the Super Bowl. So I feel like the Chiefs has that wiggle room to where, all right, we want you on the team. They give it away because the only guy that we really gave a large and great contract to is Patrick Mahomes. Now we gave something to Frank Clark as well too, because he had a 5-year, $105 million deal. So he was making 25 million a year annually. Now he's gone. So who's more deserving of it than a Chris Jones to get up to that number? Well, can make even more. So it's just, I think that it's set in stone. He was very excited, and it looks like he was happy when he was up there at the ESPYS as well too, especially being around Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, just them receiving that award. You can still feel the energy. I think it was good for him to go ahead and sit out at the OTA just because you don't want to deal with injury as well too, especially on a contract year where you're trying to negotiate something as well too. We've seen a lot of those problems happen to where eventually those contracts stalled out. So I think he did a smart thing on his part, but we know that he wants to play this upcoming season and he's not going to sit down on the Kansas City Chiefs. But it feels like everyone is satisfied with Quentin Williams receiving that deal because they feel like with him receiving that deal it's set in stone for what Chris Jones is going to do next. We definitely know that he's the last one that's going to sign, and I think he wanted to see the number that he was going to be sitting at. That way he could throw it at the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs was watching it as well too, seeing where they're going to go and be like, okay, if he gets, they probably feel like if he gets his number, we're going to be prepared if he offers this. So now I think it's just going to be like honestly, they're just going to figure out just what's involved in that contract and how it's structured going forward. And then once it benefits the team, Quentin Williams, he's going to get his news day, his praise throughout social media with his contract that happens. We might see it happen next week, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see something happen as soon as possible after this deal was done, the day after going forward. So now Chris Jones is on watch for his contract. I think it's going to happen. I'm feeling confident. I don't see this as a Tyreek Hill situation, and it's not nothing against Tyreek Hill, but with receivers, it's kind of iffy. We know how that wide receiver market works. Not saying that they're divas, but you guys are more like
and it wasn't really.
Our kids want to be like you, play like you, all that. So,
and it wasn't really iffy until like the Christian Kirk deal broke. It's only iffy.
The
market only gets iffy when somebody gets a deal that shouldn't get a deal. That's when the market gets iffy. When stuff happens like Christian Kirk goes and gets $85 million from the Jacksonville Jaguars, that's what throws the market for a loop, because now you got people like Devontae. Like when you have good players after players like that reset the market, that tears your market up. Now we had somebody like Quentin Williams go. That's kind of like the same tier player. Okay, so he's going to get contract kind of the same. Christian Kirk went and that threw the market, and then right after Christian Kirk, Tay went, and that the market was gone. After that, it was gone.
A lot of people saying don't be surprised if CJ get that $30 million up to that mark with Aaron Donald as well too. If he's 1A, 1B, he has an argument for that as well too. And I don't think they'll be mad at giving that to him opposed to giving it to Tyreek Hill. Because you gotta think about what you have on the offense. If you've already paying this much to your quarterback, you're gonna take some losses on the offensive side. However, you don't have that type of guy with that type of contract on the defensive side. Frank Clark just left. So who's deserving of that? Chris Jones. So if he was to get that number, I wouldn't be mad about that because he came off of the 15.5 sack season. I know Justin Houston, one of the guys who had the highest sack marks with us at 22.5. However, this is an interior defensive lineman who's doing everything on the line as well too. He has a percentage of snaps that's played in the interior, but also he's playing on the outside as well too, just because of what we're lacking at in that area. And he had to pick up some of that sack because of what we couldn't do in the offseason to put somebody aside him that's just as talented. So he had to, fluctuate and really just be flexible with what he do on the defensive line for us. And we got to respect that. And I think doing that, I don't see Aaron Donald too much going to the outside. I see him and switch sides on the defensive tackle spot. To be honest, he hasn't been as flexible like that. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from him because he's the best in his position for a reason. But you got Chris Jones who had to do more on a non-elite defense. We're average to above average defense where we can make plays and we are good enough to win Super Bowls with the elite offense that we have. But this guy, he's just something else different, especially with his size and his height and his size and his weight on that defensive line, where how he moves is so agile. you know, and he can beat you off a quick step as well too. He has great hands. It's just he brings a lot, and I don't mind doing that. I honestly think this is going to be like our last talks about really a contract extension or when he should have it, because I think about time that we actually talk again and actually bring this up in the subject. I think the deal is already going to be done. So we saying this right now on Chiefin with Daily Dale. We think everyone should go ahead and calm down. We seen what we need to see in the market now. It's time for Chris Jones to go ahead and set that next number because he's deserving of that. Those other guys is younger gentlemen as well too. But this is an all-pro, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champion, and he's gonna get what he's deserved. Now, let's go ahead and jump into our last topic. Kadarius Toney. He been having a blast on Twitter. I mean, he got to the Super Bowl ring and just been acting up ever since. As a fan, am I mad? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. How I am, man. I'm about expressing yourself. I know you can do things to a certain extent, but I don't know what he dealt with in New York during that time. He must dealt with some people that hated his guts just because of his injuries that he was going through. And we saw him recently on social media. Looks like ML Football posted it. Dole Cleveland as well too. But it's just video circulating of him leaving voice messages on the fans DM, just really going off, saying "F New York." Y'all quarterback trying to call me. He missed me. You know, he in the DMs talking crazy. He talked about a girl in picture. Talk bad. Said she needs some lipo or something. He was just going in. Like, what's your thoughts about that? I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I know Kansas City said something, but I don't care too much to be honest.
Yeah, I know that the organization definitely said something for sure. But I feel like it breaks that kind of that third wall that we have with the players. We don't really get to see these players act as characters as much. We always get the politically correct answers when they come to the podium. Oh, this team's great, or they have great players, or I feel like their talent is just as good as ours. We always respect our opponent, yada yada yada. We don't want to hear that BS. We want to hear this. This is what we want to hear. I'm sorry. I know the NFL doesn't like it. The Chiefs don't like it. But this is what we want to see. Hell yes. He's earned the right to do that. Kadarius Toney was shipped out of New York. They gave him away for a bag of balls. Literally. I don't know what, like a third-round pick. Like, it was horrible. He was a first-round talent. So, like, they got hosed for
I mean, but he could have waited until he had 1,000-yard season, though. You know what I'm saying?
What's the Kadarius, I think his talent speaks for itself. If you don't think Kadarius, let me tell you to take a bet right now. If you can go bet in Vegas, take the over on Kadarius Toney's receiving yards on the season. With the comments that Mahomes said, I figure we probably, I don't know, we probably touch on it a little bit another show, but the comment Mahomes left comments said he thinks he can be a number one wide receiver this year. I guarantee you Kadarius Toney cracks 1,000 yards. But that's just us based off of football. If you know football and you see players' movements and how they, as soon as they get on the field, you can tell if somebody is a player by how they just play. The first 3 games Kadarius Toney played with us, it looks like he grew up with the football in his hand. You can tell. You don't. If somebody adjusts their gloves and goes up and catches a pass, this is natural for them. This is what they do. So he's not a number one wide receiver yet. He hasn't had 1,000-yard season. I understand all of that, but the talent speaks for itself. The football just hit the gamer. He's a gamer. You can tell he's a real football player. He grew up in Alabama. You can tell by the way he was raised and how he is. And like I said, I just love to see it. We don't get to see them say we don't get to hear him say fuck enough, right? And that's why we were so excited to see Patrick Mahomes say it in the Netflix series, is because it's like we don't get to hear them do that enough. He's always saying, oh yes, I respect Joe Burrow. I know those guys is great over there. I have to respect their defense. Their defense is great. They lead every statement with the team-driven statement. We don't get to see them kind of be really real humans. Kadarius showed us that he's really a human. And if you get like that and you decide you're gonna DM me at 2:00 in the morning and terrorize my life, then I'm gonna clap back when I got time. Kadarius had time.
I think we just like to see them unapologetically them, And it's fun to see, especially in the social media world now. Well, I would say what I like more about this, and I promise, Tyreek, I don't have nothing against you. Like, I love you when you was here and everything like that. But we seen how he just had issues with slapping a man, giving him $200, saying he can pay for his life and stuff like that, just acting a fool, and seeing the history that he had here, you would think that he'd do a lot different, right? But at the same time, that's how he is. Maybe he's just too playful. Sometimes people have to learn to grow up in certain situations. You got to realize what type of caliber person you are. I would say the difference with Kadarius Toney is he's just talking though. He hasn't put his hands on anybody. He hasn't, I mean, you can say threatened because he's saying you can pull up, I slap you, do all this other stuff. I mean, that's what people say all the time though. But we don't have no report on him actually doing anything illegal to anyone and harming someone. So I will say that it's just really all talk as of now. But I feel like he held that in the whole time. And actually, I feel like you can respect it to a way because he didn't say anything until he actually accomplished something. He understood that, okay, I gotta really earn this before I start going after these people, because I think he understands that the Giants fan base, they love football out there in New York, especially the years that they won with Eli Manning as well too. They won 2 Super Bowls in that time. Although he did call that out and said his nieces and nephews ain't even as old as as old as those Super Bowl rings or those Super Bowl victories. So he's took a little shot at them as well too, but he was smart on how he attacked it, because it's like, okay, y'all talking about my injury, stuff like that. He dealt with a little issues over here in Kansas City as well too, but Andy Reid also saved him and said as well too that he was saving him for that moment. They didn't want to rush Kadarius Toney out there because they knew that offensively they were good as well, but he just was going to be someone that just put them over the hump, that makes them a lot more competitive and know the skill set that he has will, it will match with what we do with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, in that Super Bowl, when he had the longest punt return, and that was the touch, it set us up to actually take a further league as well too, to where that was the longest punt return in Super Bowl history as well. I think after having that and then having that ring and putting it on in the ceremony that we had in Kansas City at Union Station, I think it just came to realization like, I'm about to talk my talk. I'm gonna say what I have to say. I'm gonna let it out my chest. And when Kansas City talked to him, I don't think they was like, hey man, we don't take that in Kansas City, all this other stuff. I feel like Andy Reid and Clark Hunt and even Brad Veach, they hopped on the phone, was like, hey, I understand the frustration you have towards the fans base and towards that organization, especially how they get giving up on you. But now you're in a better position here in Kansas City, and we like what you bring to the team. Look, you're a champion now. Why do you gotta stoop to that level? They're trying to get to where we just accomplished. Now, what you do this year, now show them what they missing out in New York for real. Let's go ahead and put up 1,000+ yards. Let's go ahead and be the number 1 receiver in the league. We're going to help you accomplish that. Now let's piss them off more. Now you ain't got to say nothing else. And I feel like they had that type of talk. It wasn't to the point to where we're going to tell you what to do. You don't need to do that. I think it was more of like, hey, in Kansas City, like we let the haters talk. We talk after we succeed. Now he had an opportunity. He got off what he says, and I think he's fine now. He said he was hacked. We know he wasn't hacked. It's okay, bro. You're not gonna get suspended for talking. We're just gonna tell you to calm down. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm not upset. I think a lot of us laughed at it, and a lot of Kansas City fans has defended him as well too, as he was going on this rant and people trying to come in. We take care of our own, especially after the Super Bowl. I mean, you saw what happened with Tyrann Mathieu. When we were winning, when we were dominating on that Super Bowl, people were trying to come for him. Fans had his back, don't care what he was saying.
Yeah, we love you too, KT. We heard you. He said
Yeah,
my ring got a K and a C on it, and I
yeah,
love the people. We love you
yeah.
too, bro. Thank
We
you.
love you, bro.
Appreciate
Like for
everything.
real.
Appreciate everything you did, bro.
Yeah, and we
They
gonna
don't.
keep it going
The
too.
Giants don't appreciate you. Obviously, we do.
They don't care.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah, we don't like to be in the Meadowlands anyway. For real, it's where we at. We on what 350 highway,
Yeah.
40 highway,
Yeah.
around the way
Hmm.
by Cocoa Keys. Yeah, you already know. Just don't go to the hood like Tyron and them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just,
don't do all that. I mean,
stay
we
cool.
love y'all, but just leave them
Stay
people,
cool.
leave them folks alone. This my superstar, bro. They need to stay straight.
Stay
nah,
focused.
nah, but man, you know what it is though. It's gonna be a fun season. Everything's all out. Week away from training camp. Rookies report on Tuesday. Mahomes is gonna be up there with them as well too, and then all the rest of the guys of the veterans, everyone they be showing up. I think Thursday or Friday, so it's gonna be fun. Season on its way. August is almost here. Preseason football is almost here. Thursday night, September 7th, right? September 7th,
For first kick.
yeah, or September 9th,
First kick. I think it is. Let me check.
something around there.
I think it's like September 7th.
Yeah,
September
let me
7th.
see.
Let me check real quick, y'all. Yep,
We
it's
wrong. We do it
September
right
7th.
along.
Yep. September
But
7th,
September 7th, like I said,
7:20. Y'all know what time it is.
we almost
We
here.
don't gotta say too much. Y'all know if you a Chiefs fan and you live in
Mhm.
the city, you know we don't even gotta say nothing about football. It's gonna be the only game to come on. So they gonna display it. We know we represent our city pretty well. So
That's what I miss about being back at home because like on Sundays, bro, and Saturdays before too. Like you just feel the feeling of it. Like
it's
so
nothing like
you
it.
know the season
If,
about to start.
if you've never
You
been to Kansas
know,
City on a Sunday, you have to be raised here. Me and Dale talk
yeah.
about it a lot.
Like they cool.
A Sunday is different when you raised in Kansas City. So like some people,
They
you go to church, you come home, and you go to like everything. Like, stuff ceased on Sundays around Kansas City now, and it's been like
right.
that. It was like that a little bit before we were winning and losing. Trent Green, a lot of that's what we remember as kids, and we were still getting our heart broke. But like it's nothing like a Sunday in Kansas City when the Chiefs are playing. You gonna know, you will know for sure.
Like it's cool up here in New Mexico a little bit, but they you got a lot of people. It's just different fans up here. When you live in a city that, especially a state in a town that don't have like a NFL team. Keep in mind, everybody, I was born and raised. I just moved up out of here
Yeah,
like 2019. But
he better live it.
chill out. But it's Raider fans up here, Denver Broncos fans. For me to be close to Arizona, I don't see too many Arizona fans. Cowboy fans, of course, because we by Texas. Um, but they're losers, so they don't care about football as much because if their team is not being solid. Now I got one friend at work. He's a Raider fan, die hard, die hard. He rocks with him, but that's the only one I've seen that really love it, love it, love it. You know what I'm saying? The aroma and the feeling of Kansas City when it's football time, even when we was losers though, you just knew it was the football. You just knew what time of year it was. Sunday, barbecuing, up early in the morning. A lot of y'all, I know a lot of y'all went to the games. Like, Pops was like, I'm going over to Mike's house. We about to go put some on the grill.
Yeah.
Big TV, I'm cool. I'm there.
We
Kid,
cooking, yeah. Everybody cooking. It's like a
I watch
repast
my
for a
Carly and
funeral.
them later.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
the Chiefs is they come first. You cook it's just it's a party, and I'm pretty sure it's traditions, it's college traditions. You got college towns, LSU, Alabama, where they probably all get together on Saturdays and do something, but it's just nothing like those Sundays. Those Sundays are nostalgic. You have to be here to know, and you kind of have to just come from a family that's Kansas City rooted. deep and just knows what those dog days is like. And it's one thing to do it and not have success, right? And be a fan when we were as kids in the 2000s, late 2000s and early now into the 2020s and 2010s, and to not have success and now to have super success and be at the top of the world. Oh my God, Patrick Mahomes lit a fire to like a kerosene dripping
I will,
rag.
I will say I'm glad being grown, experiencing it, opposed to being a kid though, because I feel like I understand it and respect it, and I care for it more. You know, I was a big fan even while I was younger, but just being able to celebrate it now, being able to go to the bars or go down the Power Light when we win the Super Bowl, that's just a great experience to have. You remember Emma was down there while she was pregnant, bro.
Yeah,
Like
Dale
my kids really been a part of 2 Super Bowls, to be honest.
yeah,
One was in the womb, and then Pharaoh's he was sleeping at the crib with my mama.
yeah,
But hey, the town was rocking.
yeah, that's crazy.
And I
Yeah,
shed a tear that night because I was like, bro, I went through all these years. Like, when you know you be with your friends, a lot of them like they know about football, but you come from a family where like yo people push that on you. Yo pops up is like you know everything like ESPN on every day. Like I watch my cartoons, but like I got ESPN on too. Like later on, like that night, like I go to sleep to it type. You know what I'm saying? So knowing all that information, knowing all that, it was a profound love for all that. So
exactly.
you know, and then it's like, bro, and it happened when I was grown, women too, because the Royals won right after. I think they won. So,
2015.
so yeah, they lost a year that I was a senior in high school because it was in 2014, and then
2014.
2015 freshman year we was packed in my room. Like a lot of people from college came back. Ray,
And see,
Caitlin, all them like we was in
that's
there.
what started it. The nostalgic runs, and that's where the championship.
Yeah.
I just came up with the name now, but I kind of it's like championship kids. That's kind of where we got that taste of glory. We first ever got our real taste of glory. We had never won anything in KC, you guys. Look it up. I promise to God, we hadn't won nothing since 1985.
Facts.
Our mamas, literally me and Dale's mamas is like this older women. They were around to see it. We had never seen anything winning in Kansas City until the Royals in 2015. And then as far as football and baseball, and that's not even to know, baseball is not as big as football. Football is the biggest thing in the world. So to see that, to win a Super Bowl and get on the biggest stage, and it was like it's nothing like it. And we take that tradition super serious here. Sundays are everything cease on Sundays. You need Sunday off if you live in Kansas City.
Yeah,
You know that.
I'm right. Hey,
Yeah,
bro, I paid for NFL ticket for all the years I've been up here. And what's crazy is they never play on NFL ticket because they on TV up here.
Yeah.
I
Prime
wasted
time, of course. Of course.
this year. Somebody told me I'm not gonna talk. We on stream. But hey, that's all we got for this episode of Chiefin with Daily Dale. We glad everybody was able to kick it back with us. We talked for a minute. We definitely hit all our news in our topics for today. But we just had to have that little moment with y'all, just express what we be doing on them days. And we're definitely gonna have more of that as well too. We're definitely gonna be having live episodes where we're gonna be connecting with everybody as well too. We got different things that we're gonna be bringing on as well. So just keep up on the lookout for that. Thank everybody for supporting. We're definitely pushing on. It's episode 18. We 2 more to 20. We live. We're gonna get it cracking. But hey, like I said, that's all we have for this episode of Chiefin with Dale. Make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms, KC Sports Company on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure to follow me on my social media platforms, Dale Fowler Jr. on Facebook, Dale E. Fowler on Twitter, and then also Daily_Dale39 on Instagram. Lonnie, his tags on Instagram, _Lano, LONO __, and then on Twitter, _Lano, LONNO. So make sure you're tagging in with us. We keep you up with all the news as well too. We talk more about other sports on our own social media platforms as well. Remember, we love the Chiefs, but we love the whole sports entertainment
in general, everything.
All right, but we'll talk to y'all next time. Holla at you.